Hi, welcome to Cubs and Culture for April 21st, 2018. This is going to be really quick. I don't feel good today. I've been sort of under the weather the entire time. Anyway, the Cubs lost 5-2. The one thing I did, it's mostly because Yu Darvish has been struggling. All three of his four starts have not been very good, and he seems to implode. Like, everything was going well, and then all of a sudden, he walked into a pitcher, walked the opposing pitcher or something, or last game he balked, and then he just sort of collapses. There's that. So that's mostly the story of this game because the Cubs weren't shut out. I mean, yeah, they left 9 on base, which is mostly the fact that Rizzo didn't get a hit tonight. But I don't know. I think that's just some sort of regression to the natural mean. Now, I did like the fact that they did immediately put in 2 runs in the first inning, and Almora had a nice night, as you can see, 2 hits and a walk, and then Baez had a okay night. He did get that 1 hit, a single. He didn't strike out at all, which is good. And then he hit into a double play, but which is mostly, it's not even credited as hitting into a double play because Nolan Arenado, who was the very good third baseman on the Rockies, turned an unconventional double play. In any case, it was mostly sort of bad luck. They're both seeing the ball really, really well. So I'm wondering, because they've kept this lineup basically the same, at least the first 5. 3 days in a row, which is a little bit unusual for Madden. For the first month. So I'm wondering if tomorrow, not that I ever try to get into Joe Madden's head because that's basically impossible. I'm wondering if tomorrow he's actually going to split up Rizzo and put Contreras between them. I personally so one of the things about Javier Baez is April, as it was really it's really sort of the story of 2 Aprils so far, because he started the season incredibly slow. He went 0 for 11, 0 for 12 or something, and then all of a sudden on that homestand, got back home and he just turned it on, and within a week he raised his batting average from basically 125 to almost 300. And his OPS, his on base plus slugging is over 1,000. That's absolutely mammoth production out of for Baez. And that's why he's been hitting in this 2-hole a lot. Now, I don't know how long that's going to stay. Because again, the 2-hole is the place you should put your best offensive player. It might be Baez is actually having a breakout year. Let's hope. But it might also just be because he's such a streaky guy. He happens to be really hot at the moment. So I really am interested in how Madden plays this. I mean, again, he did leave 2 on base, but he was so good over the last couple of days that I'm just wondering if that's a natural regression. And the big thing is if he's not striking out, which means all his outs were on... the balls were put into play. That means he is not being exploited with the down and away slider, which is sort of his kryptonite. So there's going to be. So I'm really interested in tomorrow's game to see what Joe Madden does. Almora, I think, is going to be the leadoff hitter from now on. He's absolutely taken to that role, and Hap has been absolute garbage for the first 3 weeks of the season or so. He hit that 1 home run on the first pitch of the season, and then he's proceeded to strike out in almost 50% of his plate appearances. Now we got 2 more games tomorrow, and then on Tuesday with the Indians before we really get into enough data to talk about trends. So there's that. Then some sort of weirdness around baseball is. I'll bring up the game. The Red Sox are off to this tremendous start. Where prior to tonight's game, they were 17-3, and on all the offensive categories, of run score, run differential, batting average, hits, whatever category you want to look at for offensive production. They were they're number 1 in the league at the moment. Now, granted, this was the 20th game, so they have enough data to sort of talk about trends. You really need a project. I mean, I'm sure I've said this, but projections are actually more accurate than the first 50 games. At the end of the day, 50 games of the season, the trends there. If you're really off from your projections, you can actually reasonably expect to have a very sharp regression to your projections. If 90% of the time, because of the way in which 50 games of data is not as strong as the projections, which are based off of the last few years for position players and divisions and whatever. In any case, did he walk someone? Oh, he did walk. Okay, good. So it wasn't just an error. Anyway, so Sean Manaea, I think is how you say his name. He no-hit the Boston Red Sox. And then they only had 3 base runners the entire night because of an error and 2 walks, and that's like, what the fuck? Baseball is so sort of random and pernicious because of that. In any case, hey, Ophelia, she just knocked my phone over. In any case, what the hell? The Red Sox were no hit, and they're off to such a good start. Now watch this. They're going to go on the tailspin now. I just know it. Any case, that's going to be it for Cubs and Culture tonight. Have a good night.